opportunity for early childhood programs. I hear from a lot of you. I know we do a lot of support, so this is a great opportunity to get your program some training and learn how to build in these supports in your own program. So really appreciate that. Wanted Danita to share it and give you guys an opportunity to reach out to her as she's
And
looking
Tanya,
for
I
cohort
was
two.
gonna say, I'll put the link in the chat to the page, but if they have questions or if they need help filling out the application, just have them reach out to our office and we'll be glad to support them in any way through the process.
That sounds great. I've seen a few questions in the chat. Before we move on to Jackie, I'm going to try to go back through. Kelly has dropped in the map for local leads. If any of you are not sure about your area in this first cohort, she's put it in there. Again, there are 12 currently. We will be funding additional. This is not, Maryline, thank you. This is not a PDR training. This is just an informational meeting, but we appreciate you all for hopping on and giving your time. It is recorded. If you have to hop off, you can find it on the website. Danita Fabiola has put in the pyramid model project, so you can go to that and look at all that information that Danita just walked you through. And then I see a question, is the class assessment replacing ITERS and ECHRS and or NACCE? Let me just, those are kind of separate things. So the class assessment that we'll be implementing is a pilot for this coming year. A pilot means that you are trying something and you're going to get feedback from the field. So we are piloting with no harm to programs during this pilot year, and we'll be seeking input from programs about the experience and how this tool works versus how the existing tool works. So we'll be looking for your feedback. This is really your time and your colleagues who are going to be a part of the pilot to share the experience and which one we feel like gives us better data on child outcomes as is described in the LEARNS Act. This has nothing to do with National Association for the Education of Young Children accreditation. Those programs in Better Beginnings have reciprocity. So these are separate things. So those programs who are NAEYC or NACCE accredited can continue to be NACCE accredited. If you receive public funds, we will continue to put you all in Better Beginnings at that. We may have to do some class assessments in your program as we move forward in time, if this is the tool. But right now we're trying to really focus on those programs that currently use the environment rating scale that are part of our current Better Beginnings system that went through the process with the state, not a national accrediting tool. That would be the same for family child care with the National Association for Family Child Care accreditation that they have. So separate things, but great question. And Danita, I see you're responding to let folks know. So we need to continue trainings with ECHRS for the upcoming school year. If you have, and I don't know if Lori, if you're on, if you have Arkansas Better Chance funding and that's a requirement in the rules and regs, those rules and regs are still in place. I would say yes. If you are not, you probably are not required to. You're probably going to go to a class training in lieu of that, but it is entirely up to you. That's up to you as to whether or not you want to, unless you have a funding stream that requires it. And I think right now, your Arkansas Better Chance rules and regs may have some language in there. So we just need to, thank you, Lori.
Yeah, and I would just like to add to that for all of our Arkansas Better Chance funded programs. So if you are selected to participate in the pilot by the Arkansas or the Department of Ed and the Office of Early Childhood, you will be notified. So unless you receive official notification from the Office of Early Childhood that you have been selected for the class pilot, then you will continue on with all of your ERS requirements. So your introduction trainings or your refresher training. So again, unless your agency or site has been selected for the pilot, you continue on as normal with your ERS.
Ayla has a question about the notifications for class. We will be sending that out this summer, maybe before school is out, but probably early summer. Kayla, for those programs that'll be a part of the pilot. And we need to have a really wide range or wide array of programs. We want Arkansas Better Chance, but we also want programs that take the federal child care assistance funding, which is a requirement in the child care development plan for them to be in quality. So we really want to make sure all of our programs, we are not requiring Head Start. Head Start has a federal requirement to use this tool already. I don't want to use our resources for something that's already in place for them. So they will continue to go through their federal monitoring process and have the class tool implemented through their process. I'm going to move on because we have another colleague and I want to give her an opportunity to share information from the Head Start world. So Jackie, you have co-host privileges and sharing if you need it. Jackie, you may be on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I don't know what happened, but after Danita's screen went up, I mean, I could hear everything, but I couldn't see anybody. So I don't know. I don't have the icons to screen share. So I'll just go ahead and share the information because I don't know. I keep clicking on Zoom. Let's see if you'll come back up. I see your picture, Tanya, but I don't see anybody else. So I'm just going to go ahead and share. I had a flyer.
Okay, Jackie, you have gone back to mute. And then if you have the screen share icon at the bottom of your Zoom screen, okay. Go ahead and click unmute. And sometimes it just requires you to kind of move your mouse and hover over it and it'll pop back up.
It keeps popping up, but then it'll unmute me again. I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Well, we can hear you now. If you're good.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm just here to share some information about the Arkansas Head Start Association's Institute that's coming up April the 30th through May the 3rd in downtown Little Rock at the Doubletree Hotel and Robinson Center. I hate that you can't see my flyer, but we have several dynamic speakers who will be attending. And we also have great support from the Dallas Regional Office where we'll have lots of presenters, as well as the Head Start State Collaboration person, Joseph Lassiter, he will be there. And we're also going to have Kyrie Garvin, who is the director for the Office of Head Start. We have lots of things planned for this. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I'm extending an all-out invitation to all early childhood programs in the state. We have quality professional development sessions for everybody. Our guest speakers include Robert Lemon and Tracy Rowe. Tommy Sheridan is on the National Head Start Association board. He works there, but I serve on the board with him, and he's going to bring forth and share all the updates that we will be seeing this year in 2024. We will also have a pre-institute on April the 30th. We all are looking at issues that we face centered around opioid and substance misuse. And this is something just like trauma-informed care, it'll hit you without even knowing it. And nobody does this on purpose. But through this summit, we're going to be providing lots of dynamic speakers. We have Stephanie Gardner from the Health and Wellness Center at RVAC and several of her staff. And then we have some speakers that's coming from out of town also to share about their recovery center and how things are managed through this process. We also will be giving away some free Narcan kits so that everybody will have an opportunity to have that available in order to save someone's life that you may come in contact with that's on opioid and substance misuse. Our conference will start that Wednesday, May 1st, the opening session with Robert Lemon. one of our dynamic speakers. We're also going to be having performance by children from the UAMS Early Head Start Center. We're going to have Kyrie Garvin, who is the director of Office of Head Start, who will also be there to make remarks after the speaker. And then we're also going to be doing a site visit that day to take him to one of the centers at UAMS. So we want everybody to be a part of all these wonderful things that we have planned. We're going to have silent auctions, which advertise our children's artwork from all across the state. We're going to have some fun baskets. We've been doing silent auctions as far long as we've been doing conferences. And I am happy to say we're really boosting up this conference. Next year, it'll be 60 years for Head Start. I mean, that is just truly amazing since 1965, and we are just so excited to be sharing all this information with everyone in early childhood. We have a Come As You Wish, where we'll have a DJ for a lot of the people to knock a little stress off for line dancing, as well as, for lip syncing. We want to get you engaged. You asked for it and we're providing it. We will have a masquerade reception to honor our degreed staff for this past year, and then also our outstanding class. When I say class, I'm talking about directors, friends, staff, as well as parents. These nominations come from the program themselves, and we're going to celebrate their success at the masquerade reception. We also will be having looking specifically for a friend of Head Start. We're also going to be having a quality leadership development session that's going to be sponsored by Shine Early. And I'm going to talk a little bit about innovation and how it is important for us to keep moving forward. And then also the importance of innovation management. And then I'm going to turn it over to Nicole Taxidermist. I hope I pronounced her last name. She's got a long last name, but then she's going to share some information and how it relates to innovation about the Shine Early program. We're going to also be doing all of these fun things centered around a theme that's entitled Shaping the Future, Trends and Insights for Tomorrow. All the different things, people say tomorrow never comes, but it really does. And we're going to look at some of those things that you can do tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, because it's going to really make a difference in how you enhance your program. So this is not only a special invitation for all early childhood program, but it's a personal one from me, myself, so that we can really, bring people in to network. We're also inviting kindergarten teachers to, if they have the funds and the time, to come and share in this conference with us, because we wanted an opportunity for all of us to be in-house, whereby we could network. There's going to be a reception that's sponsored by Shine Early with drinks and hors d'oeuvres, and we hope that everyone will take part in that, because the purpose of that is for the networking. So come one, come all. We want to see you there. Again, that date is April the 30th through May 1st in downtown Little Rock DoubleTree Hotel in Robinson Center. Thank you, Tanya, for this opportunity. I'll give you our website, and you can go to the website and register online. It is www.arheadstart.org. And I don't know, everything has disappeared, and all I see right now is Lori, and I'm still part of Danita's presentation. So I don't have the icons for the mute button, the screen share. I don't know what happened. It just all disappeared. So, but again, that website is www.arheadstart.org. I hope to see you there. Thank you, Tanya, for this opportunity.
Thanks, Jackie. Hey, we dropped your flyer in for you.
Thank you.
I think someone on my team did a better job. Mine, you have to copy and paste it, but whoever dropped the last one, and maybe Kayla Bodie or Kelly, you can click on that and get to the registration and a flyer about the Arkansas Head Start Institute. So
Thank you so
we
much.
covered for you, dear. And Destiny Baxter asked if Shine Early will be there. Yes, it's my understanding, Jackie, that Shine Early Learning is planning to be at your conference. Shine.
Yes, that's a fact. They're gonna be
Yeah.
sponsoring some of the events and also doing sessions.
So I know there are a couple of questions I think Lori's answered. We're going to be going into this pilot year for class. So I've read to you right from the law, programs will be held harmless. That means that it will not impact your funding. So we will be going into this pilot year with class, and we at the Office of Early Childhood will be standing down on any impact to funding. This will be a year for us to get baseline scores, to find out where we need to do more training, and where to put our focus and emphasis with our local leads. So just know that. And yes, the goal is whatever tool is selected as part of the quality rating improvement system, that all programs that are publicly funded, that is in the law, that all publicly funded programs will be utilizing that. So that's the goal. We're heading that direction. I know it seems odd right now because it's something new and it's a little uncertain, but please bear with us. We will notify programs, but you will not be in any trouble for the class tool and for, the Better Beginning or the Arkansas Better Chance rules that are in place. We will be modifying those as we go forward. All the rules are currently underway, but there will be additional for Better Beginnings and for Arkansas Better Chance so that everything is aligned, Heather, just so you know that. So it'll be a little bumpy in the next year as we're in this transition and pilot time, but just be patient. Our goal is not to create any kind of foul situation for a program. It is to help you all gain the knowledge and to hear back from you about the tool that is the most helpful and what gives the state the best data, and more importantly, the best child outcomes. How do we really improve children's learning, and how do these tools measure up? So that's sort of where we're headed. I think that is all for presentations today.
Tanya?
Yeah, go ahead, Lori. Go ahead.
Well, if you want to, there is a question that I am happy to, respond to all programs that are housed on a public school district property. So is this a good time, or do you need to finish up with anything else?
Go ahead, Lori. Sorry.
Okay. So those programs that utilize school district that are located on school districts, due to inclement weather, had to miss some days. ABC put out some guidance for programs that are located on school district property. If you are a private community-based program that does not rely on school district services such as lunch, meals, transportation, so on, you are able to, if you did close due to inclement weather, you are able to work in additional days to meet those required 178 days. So the guidance that was put out was for those programs that they're located on the school district campus, and they are trying to align calendars, because if their school district is closed, then they don't have the services to provide pre-K or early care and education. So I'm going to try to make this as clear, but again, I will put my email address in the chat box in case you need to reach out to me individually. I can't take this time to individually answer all the questions that might come up, but there are 3 different calendar types that are allowed in school districts. Your traditional 178 days, which aligns with Arkansas Better Chance requirements. So if that is the calendar your school district use, then you just use the calendar that they're using to add in additional days, either to the end of the year, making up those days with planned professional development or holidays or out days. You follow their plan for making up those days. Now, what has happened, some of those school districts that were on the 178-day traditional calendar submitted a waiver to the Arkansas Department of Education to transition to an alternate calendar based on hours. So number one, if that is the school district that your program is affiliated with, then number one, you have to make sure that your school district received approval to that waiver by ADE. If they did, then they are able to show how they went above and beyond the required minimum hours and are banking those hours to make up for any days that were missed to meet that 178-day requirement. So again, look at your ABC hours. Are you offering services to families above and beyond the minimum 7 hours a day? If so, then we're just asking you to submit that plan that you are demonstrating an effort to align with your school district, but also provide, services for those missed days due to inclement weather only, for that. If your school district is on year round, they have that 178 days and they're building those in with days that they had intended to be off. The outlier is the 4-day school districts that are on a 4-day calendar. Again, ABC has to provide 178 days. It does not state in rules and regulations that you can't attend 4 days, but over the course of that program year, you have to reflect 178 days that are provided to your families and children in your communities. So if they're on 4-day weeks, then you have to work, they may be using that 5th day as their inclement weather makeup days. Well, ABC may already have be in session on that 5th day due to the 178-day requirements. So again, we're asking you to submit a plan to show how you are going above and beyond to meet and align with your school district, but still meet those minimum requirements with your required days. And again, I know that's a lot of information and there are a lot of individual outliers out there, and we've tried to work with programs. And again, if you need that plan, it was sent out to all program directors and coordinators. So if you are not aware, get with your agency director or your site coordinator to make sure that you are submitting a plan. Again, if you can demonstrate an effort to go above and beyond to meet that requirement and align with your school district, we are going to work with you on that.
Thanks, Lori. Just FYI, somebody asked about class. Lori dropped in a link so that you can go and learn more about class. It's teachstone.com/class. Brenda, whenever we do have all of the rules promulgated, it is, as you probably can imagine, a lengthy process of going to the governor, to state board, to legislative committees before, with an APA requirement of a public hearing for all of them, somewhere in the middle of all that. So they will go out for public comment at all of our rules. We have 7, including ABC, 4 licensing, 1 for Better Beginnings, and 1 for our pre-K credential. All of those will have public hearings as we're moving through this process. So please be looking for that. We'll be sending that out and notifying programs for those public hearings so that you'll have an opportunity to provide input. I will tell you that Most of the rule changes have to do with changes to the titles and names. Instead of DHS and Division of Child Care, Department of Ed, and Office of Early Childhood, Lori's puts ABC within the Office of Early Childhood. But we did try to make some updates where we could. There will be future rule changes, but they will be moving through it, and we will let you all know once we have final copies. Lori will notify the ABC programs, hey, here's the new rule book for ABC, but there'll be several opportunities even before they're final for you all to have input. So just be watching for that. There are a couple of other questions.
I can jump in real quick,
Okay.
Lance. I wanted to kind of clarify the hours per day. K-12, or actually it's elementary, because is required in your ADE K-12 rules and regs, 6 hours a day is required for K-12 because they do not count lunch as instructional time or transitions between classes. In our state-funded pre-K programs, we're requiring a minimum of 7, which really kind of balances out because you think hours of operation. The majority of programs are open, 8 hours, which is a typical work day for staff. So again, ABC programs have to reflect that they're providing services for 7 hours a day. But if you look at your K-12, most of them are offering 7 to 8 hours a day as well. So just to clarify, we allow lunch and recess and transitions in our 7 hours, where K-12 they do not look at lunch as in transition time as instructional time. So that's just to clarify Mr. Arbuckle's question. And then
Kara Jones, the question about local leads, I talked a little bit about this, but we'll be releasing a commissioner's memo, hopefully this week in the next day or two, announcing a call for those next groups. We do have some opportunities with the first cohort, some that did not get funded that we expect to be able to fund this time, but we're also inviting new applicants. And you're right, Conway County is not one of the areas that's covered, but hopefully as we do this next round, we'll pick up that county as well as some others with new opportunities. But just be looking for that. We'll post something out on our website as well, and we'll share it with Jackie to share with Head Start. Lori will share it with ABC programs. We'll be trying to get it out to as many people to invite other communities that are not currently covered an opportunity to write for the opportunity to be a local lead. So,
got it. Thanks so much.
Yeah, you bet. And then the announcement likely will be in April, for the next cohort.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Lori, I've got a question about a family daycare home that does ABC. I don't know if you can see that one from Melissa Jenkins. And she may need to work with you. You're on mute, Lori, but she may need to work with you individually to help with that.
Yeah, thank you. I did put my email address in for everyone that has individual questions, but please let me make it clear. If you're a family childcare home or a private community-based program that does not rely on a school district for services, then you will be required to make up any days that were missed due to inclement weather. So you will just communicate with your families on what those additional days will be. But again, we're making a provision for programs that rely on school district for services.
Thanks, Lori. Yeah, Lori's put her email in the chat box. So for those of you in school districts or programs that are receiving ABC funds, I know this one is a little complicated and it's hard to really get down to each individual situation, but she has made an offer to try to assist all of you. If you will email her your scenario, I know that she and her team will try to be as responsive as they can. And also try to meet the law, the current rules that we have in place, which I know are challenging right now. So I think that's the last question I see. I just want to always express my appreciation and gratitude for all of you for the work that you do on behalf of our youngest citizens. And I know there's been a lot of change and uncertainty as we've done this huge transition and continue to do a transition. We are still physically housed at DHS from the former Division of Child Care. And so we still have a lot of growing opportunities over the coming year, but we are definitely all working together and trying to pull in the same direction. And to Heather Level's question earlier, yes, we will be working more and more to try to align as much as we can, even though we have federal programs that have very strict federal requirements. We'll do as much as we can to align those with the state pre-K program as possible, as we always have done. But just stay tuned for that. And the next call, I think Keeler's got up the slide, is April 2nd at noon. You can find the recording on the Office of Early Childhood Informational Provider Calls page. There's a little link, so it'll probably be up this afternoon or tomorrow. It takes a day or two, but we'll have it up there. If you had to miss any of it and want to go back and listen, it'll be available. And then we'll see you on April 2nd. Everybody enjoy the spring weather before it turns again. But thank you so much. And Tiffany, I did see your email about the insurance. I'm sure that that is an impact for a lot of providers. I know a little bit about that. I know we have a requirement for liability insurance. I do believe, my understanding is that insurance agencies are looking at compliance and license history, and maybe it's having some impact, but happy to have a discussion about that offline, or if we need to have some conversations with a small group of providers and with the Department of Insurance to see if there's anything we can do to help with that. I'm not always, that's not my area of expertise, but I know when we first passed that liability insurance, we worked very closely with the Department of Insurance in the state. And so happy to help with that. But thank you all. Have a great week.